So I think that we have to really understand what virtue signaling is. And I think it was Thomas Sowell, who said that, you cannot reason someone out of a view that they didn't reason themselves into. And that's, it's like most everything I think that man utters. It's profoundly accurate and insightful. And we sort of have to understand that these types of virtue signaling, views and things you're meant to say and things you're not meant to say and things like that, they're completely separate from reason and logic, right? People are very good at being hypocrites. People are very good at being internally incoherent. It's not a problem for most people. Maybe for a minority of people for whom it is a big problem, we can't understand how other people can just have these completely incoherent perspectives. But the fact of the matter is that you have this virtue signaling category of views, and they are completely divorced and orthogonal to anything that you might be reasoning about with logic and thinking about. So let's think for a minute then, if these, virtue signaling views, if they've not been arrived there through logic and reason, if people are not looking at the evidence of their eyes and ears and saying, yeah, no, that's obvious. Clearly, this man is actually a woman. That makes perfect sense to me. If that's not what's happening, then what is happening? And what is happening is it's an exercise in social dominance, right? There has been rules that have been set by the socially dominant, and if you do not want to incur the wrath of the socially dominant, then you need to obey those rules. Disobeying those rules is a signal to the socially dominant that you do not agree with them, are not going to obey them, and are not going to abide by whatever social rules they want to set. And obviously, engaging in all of these virtual signals is a signal of the opposite, that you are very much going to be a good little obedient servant to the socially dominant narrative. Now, that socially dominant narrative can only effectively serve that signaling purpose if it's ridiculous. You're not signaling fealty to a group by declaring something sensible. If I walk out and go, yes, the sky is blue, no one is going to say, wow, you're really committed to this whole blue sky gang, aren't you? Like, wow, that's a massive commitment. No, obviously not, right? But if I walk out and go, yeah, that big hairy 6'2" bloke with a receding hairline and a giant penis and set of balls, obviously he belongs in the women's change room and swimming in the women's events in the pool. Well, clearly I'm committed to something, right? Because that's absurd, right? Okay, and so these virtue signaling beliefs have got to be absurd.